Okay, I think we should start now. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Yukti, currently serving as the National Treasurer for National Association of Students of Architecture, also referred to as NASA India. And today we have all organized this meeting for the brief decode session of Griha Trophy. So, the National Association of Students of Architecture is the world's largest student association, founded in 1957 with just 7 colleges. It has now grown to include over 350 colleges and more than 66,000 students, making it a significant voice for architecture students across India. The association aims to provide a platform for learning and interaction among students from diverse cultural backgrounds. Speaking about Griha, Griha is an acronym that stands for Green Rating for Integrated Habitat Assessment. It has been recognized as India's own rating system for sustainable habitats. Griha was jointly developed by TERI, the Energy and Resources Institute, and the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, MNRE. The Griha Council evaluates the environmental performance of a building holistically over its entire life cycle, thereby providing a definitive standard for green buildings and sustainable habitats. So, I would like to introduce Mr. Ankit Bhalla, Manager Griha Council, and Ms. Ponchi Barua, Project Officer Griha Council, who are joining us today to take up the session for the brief decode.
Thank you so much, Yukti. Good afternoon, everyone. In fact, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining on such a short notice in terms of today's session on the decoding session for the Griha NASA Trophy. I would I have a presentation for all of you so that we understand the concept well. So the format will be I'll just share my screen. I'll present the slides that I have, and post that if there are any questions, we'll be happy to take those questions. Yukti, if you can confirm if my screen is visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
In the full screen mode?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you for the confirmation, Yukti. Well, welcome everyone for the Griha Trophy at the 60th Annual NASA Convention, brief decoding session, organized in association with NASA Council and Griha Council. Yukti has, already given a brief about Griha, what Griha stands for, what its acronym. So, just to add on to what Yukti, just now gave a brief introduction about Griha. Griha is basically a tool to facilitate design, construction, operation of a green building, and in turn measure the greeniness of the buildings which are coming up in India. Griha works on the motto of what gets measured gets managed. Now, the whole idea of coming up with a national rating system for India was that it started off way back in the year 2000 and in the year 2001. Now, in the year 2001, the first certified green building came up in the country. So at that point of time, we didn't had any Indian national system available. So we for everything we look up to US. And then at that point of time, a very newly developed rating system was there, which is today known by the name LEED. At that point of time, LEED was the first rating system which was adopted in India. And TERI was appointed as the consultant for that particular green building, which is the Godrej Green Building in Hyderabad. Now, at the time of evaluation and filing the documentation, TERI understood the fact or analyzed this fact that the parameters based on which the building is getting evaluated, those parameters are not acclimatized with the Indian climatic conditions, and the requirements are more framed in such a manner which is leading to installing of higher performing chillers, which is unnecessarily increasing the cost of the green building. And the real sense of green building which has been developed or coined in India was something which was getting lost. And that is where TERI developed Griha. At that point of time, in the year 2005, when it was launched, it was known by the name TERI Griha. In the year 2007, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India came forward, adopted Griha as the national rating system. And since then, Griha is there in the Indian market, striving as the national rating system, as the only rating system, national rating system of India. Now, till now, Griha has only been able to penetrate into 6,000 plus buildings which are coming up in the country. So it is just 5% of the total green of the total constructions market which is right now there. So There is only 5% green buildings which are there. Now imagine with this just 5% of the buildings which are going green, how much trees have been we have been able to preserve. So more than 75,000 plus trees have been preserved. More than 30,000 gigawatt hour of annual energy savings have been calculated. More than 533 megawatt peak of solar PV installation has been done. We have been able to save more than 8,400 gigatons of CO2 emissions into the environment, which is equivalent to 49,000 cars taking off the road annually. Now, this is just a small impact which we have been able to make with the 1700 plus rated projects so far, and 6,000 projects which are there in the pipeline will be, so proportionately the impact will be more. Now imagine if 100% of the construction in India, if it goes green, then how much impact we will be able to make in the country. Now, Griha has developed, a lot of rating variants. Now, the mool mantra of each and every rating is striving towards sustainability. But depending upon the scale of construction, depending upon the typology of buildings, there are certain segments which have been framed. Griha rates new buildings as well as existing buildings. So under the new building portfolio, we have certain rating variants, 5 rating variants. The first rating variant is Griha version 2019, which has been very recently replaced by Griha version 6, which was launched last year. Griha version 6 or version 2019 is a rating which is applicable to any project which is having a built-up area of above 2,500 square meters. That means any construction which is above 25,000 square feet can be registered under Griha. Now, under Griha version 2019 or under Griha version 6, any project or any project typology can be rated. It could be a residential project, it could be commercial project, it could be a hospital building, it could be a mall, it could be a school building, it could be an institutional building. Any building can be rated under the Griha version 2019 or Griha version 6, which is right now the new prevalent rating system. Apart from that, Griha has also worked on the affordable housing segment, and in the year 2017, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana scheme was launched, under which housing for all was the main intent, and to make sure that that the mass rapid housing for all is sustainable. With that intent in mind, Griha for affordable housing rating system was developed. Now, this specific rating system has been designed for residential typologies of building, which are coming up under the PMAY scheme. So any residential project which is not tagged under the PMAY scheme will be registered under Griha. Projects with only PMAY tag will be registered under the Griha affordable housing rating. What that makes it, its eligibility requirement. Next in line, we have the Swagriha rating, simple, versatile, affordable Griha. Version 3 of this rating variant has been launched last year. Now, this is applicable to any project, any typology of project which has built up area below 2,500 square meters. So if you are coming up with your independent villa or a small scale office building or a small scale restaurant building or a small hotel or a small dispensary, then in that particular case, the project can be rated under the Swagriha variant. The next variant that we have is called Griha LD, Griha for larger developments. And this particular rating variant is applicable to projects where the site area is above 50 hectares. So projects like new campuses which are coming up in the country, new townships which are coming up in the country are some of the prominent projects which are registered under the Griha LD category. Projects like IITs, IIMs, JIPMER campuses, AIMS campuses. Now, these are some of the projects which we have registered so far under this particular rating variant. Very recently, we have also introduced a rating variant for interior spaces, which is known by the name Griha for interior spaces. Now, this specific rating has been designed to make sure that the interiors are also sustainable. So we are not just talking about our building envelope, but we are also making sure that the interiors in the buildings are also sustainable. Now, this takes into account both new interiors as well as retrofits which are proposed in existing buildings. Now, the applicability is that if the carpet area is above 25 square meters, then a project is eligible to be registered under the Griha for interior spaces rating program. Griha under the existing building program has two major rating variants. So the first rating variant is Griha for existing building, which is again applicable to any building which is operational for more than 3 years with a built-up area of above 2,500 square meters. Any building typology can be rated under this particular scheme. Uh, we have another rating program called Griha for existing schools. Now, this program has been specifically designed for existing schools, and under this particular variant, we have been able to rate more than 300 plus projects of Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, and more than 200 projects are going to be certified by this financial year of Kendra Vidyalayas. Apart from that, there are also certain other private schools who have taken up this particular rating variant. Now, the speciality or the plus USP of this rating variant is that it is not just a rating program, but it is a program through which students understand and learn about sustainability from the grassroots level. So there are certain exercises. The rating has been designed in such a manner so that the students and the teacher work together to collect the data, and this is how they learn about the sustainability parameters and understand and assess that how sustainable their school is and what are the measures that they need to adopt to make sure that their school becomes sustainable. Now this is something that they carry back home and they practice in their lifestyle, and that is what we intend from this particular rating, that it should not just be a tag for a school but a learning program where sustainability reaches to each and every home. Uh, we have another and the last rating variant under the variant scheme of rating called the Griha for cities. Now, this specific rating has been designed for the smart cities which are coming up in the country. I believe you all must be aware that the Indian government has launched a program for 100 plus 100 smart cities, and to make sure that these smart cities are sustainable, Griha for rating program has been launched. This particular rating variant is only applicable to large scale cities where the population is above 1 lakh, and urban local bodies are the major uptakers of this particular rating variant. All these rating variants that you see on the screen, these are the manuals of these particular rating variants are available on the Griha website in the library section. I would urge all the students to please take out time and study the material which is available on the Griha library section, which is available without any cost. Apart from that, Griha has now ventured into infrastructure facilities, and we have launched ratings such as Griha for rating ports, Griha for infrastructure rating of highways, and Griha infrastructure rating for metro stations. There are certain more infrastructure ratings which are there in the pipeline, and then I believe by this year you will, we will be unveiling the other, infrastructure segment that we're going to rate in the future. Now, infrastructure of India has a very major potential in terms of carbon savings. And as per the international protocols and as per the IPCC requirements, it is, India has a very major stress in terms of reducing its carbon footprint. And infrastructure facilities has, a major chunk of or a scope for carbon sequestrations and carbon reductions. So that is where now we have also released ratings for the infrastructure facilities in line with the requirements that has been framed by the various ministries. Like the rating for ports was specifically developed in line with the requirements of the shipping ministry. The rating for highways was specifically designed with the requirements of Ministry of Road and Highways, MORTH. And metro rating for metro station was uptaken by the intervention of DMRC and Bangalore Metro Rail Corporations. And in line with the other infrastructure ratings that we are developing, we are in touch base, and we are in consultation with the other ministries for which infrastructure facilities are right now under development. Griha also offers a certification program. Now, under the certification program, Griha has also taken up an initiative to assess the carbon footprint by any particular commodity or by any particular agency or by any corporate or by any company or by any institution. Now, under the DHP, Decarbonization Habitat Program, Griha Council is offering certification programs like Net Zero Energy Program, Net Zero Water Program, Zero Waste Program, Zero Transport Program, taking into account, energy, water, waste, transport, as well as social and lifestyle, which are considered to be the major contributors of carbon footprint. Now, certification programs are different from the rating programs. In the rating program, there are certain national benchmarks that you need to qualify, and the rating is given to you from 1 to 5 star level, depending upon how better you perform. The better performance KPIs that you achieve, the higher star rating that you can perceive. But the certification program has been designed in a very different way. Now, a certification program is a self-assessment. It works on a self-assessment mechanism. It's like an annual report card that you assess after every 2 years. That where do you stand? After 2 years, where you were and where you have reached in these past 2 years, and what were the initiatives that you have taken to make sure that you have now a zero energy project, or you are a zero water or a water positive project. Under the water positive certification, we have been able to certify more than 54 buildings of or 54 infrastructure facilities of DS Group, more than 20 factories of ABB have been certified by us. There are other companies like Ericsson, Aisher, and various other companies, who have got in touch with us to get their facilities rated under the water positive program and under the zero waste program. We also offer a certification program for small scale housing known by the name Jan Griha. Now, this certification program has been majorly taken up by financial institutions. Now, under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, there are certain other schemes which are also offered by local by state authorities or by urban local bodies or by certain central government incentive schemes taken up by the state governments. Now, under these schemes, a person who is below a certain level of income strata can apply for this particular incentive, under which if they are making a green home, then they are eligible for a incentivized or a relaxed interest rates on the loans that he take on for developing or building up his house. This program has been very well taken up by financial institutions. More than 40 plus institutions in financial institutions, have collaborated with us, and more than 6,000 plus projects have been, either registered or rated by us under this particular program. Now, specifically, for students, Griha Council offers a program called ACE initiative. Now, Agents for Change for Environment is the tag, and this tag is something what we offer for architectural students, engineering students to come up and be a Griha student member. For NASA members, the rates for these, the annual rates for these are subsidized. You may get in touch with the NASA Council for more details. There are a lot of benefits that you get being a ACE member, in terms of getting up to dates on the green building, access to the national or the regional conclaves or conferences or summits organized by Griha Council. You also get an opportunity to visit one green building. As you might be aware that Griha Council offers green building tours almost once in 2 months on an average. Apart from that, you also get a lot of study material and updates on the latest on the latest and the updated news and progress that we have been that we have made in the past on the sustainability sector. So for more details, you can get in touch with the NASA Council members, or you can get in touch with the Griha Council. Now coming to the design trophy. So this year's design trophy brief, which is in association with Griha Council and M3M, who has been our partner for this year's trophy. This is a life, as I believe you might be aware that Griha Council always, offers or roll out a project which is a life project. So on similar lines, this year M3M has been our partner, and we have given up you a project which is going to be coming up in the future by M3M developers in Gurugram, which is in the state of Haryana. Now, this year's design brief is basically on a mixed use residential building complex that you need to develop that combines, passive and active low impact design strategies at the site as well as on the building level. The design must also demonstrate a quantitative comparison with a conventional fully air conditioned building, which is sized at 160 square feet per TR, which will be used as a baseline for your comparison. Now, for more clarity, I'll just like to highlight certain points which are there, which I believe there might be a lot of confusions, questions in your mind, going through this particular brief. Now, what does this 160 square feet per TR actually mean? So, conventional buildings which are made up of red clay bricks, conventional buildings that we have been, making in the past. Now, these buildings, the air conditioning load is calculated on a base case of 160 square feet per TR. Now, I'll give a very simple example. You supposedly, you have a room of size, let's say, for example, 12 feet by 11 feet. Now, if you want to install an air conditioner in this particular room, what will you do? So you will go to the market, and you'll go to the air conditioning vendor, and you'll ask him that I want to install a air conditioner in my room. The first question that he's going to ask you is that what is the size of your room? And when you will tell him that that the size of my room is, let's say, for example, 12 feet by 11 feet, 10 feet by 10 feet, or 11 feet by 9.5 feet, whatever X size that you tell him, based on that he will calculate and tell you that, okay, for your 120 square feet of area, one tonnage of refrigeration, 1 TR or 1 ton of air conditioner is absolutely fine. That will work well. Now, this is a base case on which specifically buildings are designed, or air conditioning systems are selected. Now, the overall idea here is that you incorporate passive and active low impact design strategies in your project so that this number increases. So instead of 160 square feet per TR, your building should demonstrate 300 square feet per TR or 350 square feet per TR. This is the main challenge that is you have to figure out this year. And this is possible with a lot of interventions, starting off with the foundation of passive design and active low impact design strategies in your design. Now, what is actually a low impact design, or how do you categorize a low impact design? Now, in a low impact design, you need to make sure that your building is designed as per the solar design strategies, wind design strategies, daylighting strategies. You need to make sure that that there are site preservation strategies that you implemented, and then comes the active design strategies. Now, active design strategies are primarily strategies where you are using energy, but the consumption of energy is less as compared to a air conditioning system. So let's say, for example, a fan in a room is considered to be an active design strategy, because a fan will give you thermal comfort, but the cost at which it will give you the thermal comfort is going to be almost 60-70% lower as compared to a air conditioning system. So there are a lot of active design strategies that you need to study. There are a lot of daylighting strategies that you need to study. So daylighting strategies could be introduction of a light shelf, introduction of prismatic panels, introduction of deep designs, introduction of light wells, courtyards. If you talk about wind design strategies, there are a lot of wind design strategies which are also available. You might have heard about trombols, you might have heard about earth air tunnels. If we talk about solar design strategies, there are a lot of strategies in terms of making sure that your orientation of the building should be apt. You should not design your building facing east or west, or orientations like southeast or southwest. They should be well treated from where you get direct solar radiation. So you need to study the solar geometry well to understand that how you can incorporate these concepts in your design. Believe me, if you incorporate these concepts well in your design, then in that particular case, your 160 square feet per TR baseline will increase drastically to 240 to 30 square feet per TR. That is for sure. Now comes the next challenge, that that how you need to do it is certainly what we look forward from this year, entries from you guys. And I would also urge that please consult your seniors, please consult your professors, your mentors, and try to understand the concepts. So the whole idea is to understand the concept. Once you understand these concepts, concepts of building physics, it will be very, very easy for you to design buildings, not just for this competition but also for your future design projects. Apart from that, this year's design components that we are at least expecting from you in your design would be, coming up with 11 residential towers comprising of 3 BHKs and 4 BHKs. Now we leave it up to you as an as an innovation, that how do you want to design these 3 BHKs and 4 BHKs. It could be one building which having a combination of both 3 BHKs and 4 BHKs, or you can have multiple buildings where independently, in one building you have 3 BHKs and in the other building independently you have all 4 BHKs. So that is a flexibility that we leave entirely up to you. And how do you want to design it? Do you want to design it in a penthouse format? Do you want to design it in a flat plate method? So that is something that we ultimately leave it up to you for your design innovations. Apart from that, one clubhouse building is at least expected, because in such high-rise structures we require at least one clubhouse. Now apart from that, 2 level of basement for car parking and for other amenities what you want to plan is certainly expected. Please be mindful that when you are designing your basements, please make sure that those are accessible with daylight and they are well ventilated. So please make sure that you do not miss upon those small detailings in your project briefs, in your designs. Apart from that, you are also expected to design certain other amenities, which could be clubhouses, recreational areas, landscaping, open spaces, essential services which are required to support and run this kind of a development. Apart from that, there is another requirement which has also been introduced of making a social impact requirement, and at least one planning or design intervention for social upliftment of the people within the low income group is something that is also expected from you in the design response. Now, the queries that we have received from you people after after the brief was released was majorly on the social upliftment issue. Now, see, social upliftment is considered to be one of the basic pillars of sustainability. Now, for any development, that if you are not able to cater to every group of people, then that development is not considered to be a sustainable development. So you need to be mindful that while you are designing your project, you need to cater to each and every segment of the society in your development. Now this is not just restricted to human beings, but this is also expanded to the flora and the fauna of that particular region. We are talking about habitat. So social upliftment is something which is expected in this particular design in terms of facilities or amenities that you come up in your design interventions for economically weaker sections specifically. But if you come up with other alternatives for, let's say for example, for hibernating birds which are there coming to this particular region during the hibernation period, or if you are taking care of the flora of this particular region, there are certain species of shrubs which grow in this particular region. If you are trying to if you are able to retrieve that, also creating business opportunities and livelihood opportunities for the local neighborhood people. So you have a jurisdiction of a certain site which is given to you, but you need to also make sure that people who are in and around your surrounding in your neighborhood, they also they also get business and livelihood opportunities to grow and to be sustainable, so that they do not they do not feel deprived in terms of that, oh, this once that you might have heard a lot of people saying that, but that because of so and so residential society, we guys had to leave our land. We had to sell our land purposefully. We were forced to leave our land. So you might have heard a lot of these cases. And as a sustainability warrior, and as a responsible architect, I think this is one of the very major challenge that you guys have to design and come up with a solution in this design brief that we have floated. uh, site details, I believe, has already been shared with you in AutoCAD file. There are certain, AutoCAD related or drawing related concerns that we have also received, although those have been addressed. And I believe NASA Council might have shared or will be sharing those, responses with you shortly after this session, I believe, or they must have shared it by now. I'm not sure. Yukti would be able to, give
Yes,
more.
sir, we have shared it with them.
Shared it with them. Okay. So location is, once again, I'll just briefly tell you that the location is sector 111 in Gurugram in the state of Haryana. The climate condition of this particular region is composite. I would also like to stress upon that there are 5 climate zones in India. You have cold climate zone, you have warm and humid climate zone, you have composite climate zone, you have temperate climate zone, and you have uh, hot and dry climate zone. Now, the composite climate zone is basically a zone where you experience extreme weather conditions in specific set of time. So during the summer season, you have peak summers. During the winter season, you have peak winters. During the monsoon season, the monsoon is also comparatively higher. So these are some of the climatic challenges that you have to counter in your design. The site area is roughly close to about 16 acres of land with an FAR of 5.12. The maximum ground coverage that is expected is 25%. And the setbacks that you need to give is at least 16 meters. You are also requested to please go through the building bylaws of Gurugram for more clarity and for more details in pursuit of your design. We are now open for any for questions if there are any.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, please.
In this site, actually, when we look at the Google Maps, it says that there's a lake in our site or near the site. I want to know, is the lake accessible? Is the lake accessible by the residents, or like how is it?
Okay.
Will the resident? Yeah.
See, the Google Earth images that you see and the drawing that you have received, there might be a slight difference, and that is the reason for this is that because the developer is still in the process of acquiring some piece of land, and the site which is going to be delivered by the development authority to the developer M3M Group will be as per the drawings. So if you see certain scenes like a pond or something like that, so you may ignore it, or you may take it up as an opportunity to design your project. So we give you full flexibility in terms of uplifting it, or filling it up and using it for your project. That will completely leave it up to you. But there is going to be a slight difference in the Google Earth images as well as in the drawing that has been issued to you.
Sir, may I ask?
Yes, please.
Actually, sir, I wanted to understand what does the mixed use housing complex imply. I understand ki we can have the retail shops and everything under the tower, but if we have a separate commercial building altogether on the site, just like the M3M group is proposing for their project right now, does that also qualify to be a mixed use housing complex?
It can be. So we leave it up to you. As I told you that that the minimum requirements we have already framed, that you need to come up with at least 11 building towers and one clubhouse complex. Apart from that, if you want to come up with certain amenities, we will completely leave it up to you, that how innovatively you will come up with that.
Okay. So there is no fixed area that the commercial
No.
needs.
No,
Okay.
there is no fixed area, and it is completely, up to you that how do you want to address that issue. Let's say, for example, if you want to design, amenities in such a way that, it helps the development of the society, taking part of the social aspects that we have, covered, and how it caters to, the residents of the society.
Okay. Sir, one last thing I wanted to ask if, since we have mentioned that the basements are a compulsion, is it just for the parking and can we have a multi-level car parking on surface?
So again, parking, of course, you need to meet the requirements for parking, and as per the bylaw requirements, you need to, give parking provisions in the stilt areas or in the basement, which is a requirement of the bylaw. However, we would, give you that flexibility that if you want to use the basement for certain other applications, you are free to do that, but
Okay.
not compromising on the minimum
Parking
car
requirement.
park requirement.
Yes. Thank you.
So, and I had one doubt.
Yes, please.
So, near the thing site, we have a airport like IGI airport. So, is like the 100 meters is the given limit. So, is it fine like if we build like till 100 meters, like there's an airport nearby? So, I had a doubt.
Okay, so you need to check the Airport Authority of India regulations. In certain cases, Airport Authority of India gives you, certain relaxations on certain grounds that you need to, check from the Airport Authority of India codes. And, if you comply with those particular codes in respective design interventions, then you can go above 100 meters.
Yes, but the authority like the say it's like maximum 16.5 meters, but in the brief they have told maximum height is like 100 meters.
It
So
is,
like
it is, but
yeah,
you need to also check, the Airport Authority of India codes. That is, I gave you that clue
yeah, yeah. Thank you.
because you need to take the aviation clearances. So any building which is within, certain distance of 50 kilometers of radius of any national or international airport needs to take an aviation clearance from Airport Authority of India. And there is a specific guidebook which is available on the Airport Authority of India website.
Um, so I had a question.
Yes, please.
So the Griha's rating program mentions in one criteria the life cycle assessment of a building using by calculating its global warming potential and embodied carbon. And the brief mentions that we need to give life cycle assessment as a deliverable. So when we are talking about this, the life cycle assessment, does it need to be the one that is done using GWP potential, or can we use the one for energy performance? Like we can do life cycle assessment based on the energy performance of the building too.
Okay, so I believe the brief says about embodied carbon, if I'm not wrong.
The brief says that we need to present life cycle cost analysis, cost assessment. Sorry, and wait, I just got confused. So we have to provide the life cycle assessment as a deliverable with our submissions, and that can be done either using energy performance or maybe the GWP potential. So what is the required
Okay.
assessment procedure?
Okay. So when we talk about GWP potential numbers, there are two things which are taken into account. One is called the embodied carbon. Embodied carbon is basically the LC analysis done for constructing any piece of building. And the second part to this is called the operational carbon, which is basically that once you have constructed this particular piece of building, then in the next span of 60 years, how is the building going to consume less electricity, less energy in terms of reducing your carbon footprint. So here we're talking about both operational carbon as well as your embodied carbon.
Thank you, sir.
So like one
I
last
can
doubt.
clarify a
Uh,
doubt.
yeah, just so one last doubt I had. So in this thing, I believe I mentioned like to take the cooling to like 300 TR per square feet. So for this, do we need to show like proof with using softwares only or like manual calculations?
See, manual calculations are very tight in terms of at this particular level. So we would recommend that you go forward with the simulations. Although if you are comfortable and if you can justify your calculations manually, we are open for that also.
Okay, sir. And because the software, like they are not like very expensive and they are not available for like students, so that's why
No,
I
there
had
are
that.
softwares which are available. You can, model in Rhino, and there are plugins like Honeybee, Grasshopper, uh,
Yeah, Ladybug.
which
Yeah.
you can use, which is not cost intensive. There is no, in fact, cost, and you can get educational version of most of the softwares available. Design Builder also gives you an educational version. eQuest is one of the softwares which also gives you that option. You can also take a trial pack of IES, a 30-day trial pack for students. So there are a lot of options available.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, I would like to highlight that we will take the doubts in order that they have raised the hand. So, for example, right now Tisha has raised her hand. We'll take her first, and then in the order that we can see on the screen, we'll go according to
Okay,
that.
so Yukti, I would request that that you take forward as the moderator, and please ask, name the student, and then they can
Yes, sir. I
raise
think
up.
that will be better. So we'll take Tisha's doubt now.
Okay, so talking about the Maiwan construction, are we supposed to build the entire project through Maiwan, or can we choose specific towers or areas to be done by Maiwan?
So we leave it up to you. If you want to, come up with Maiwan for certain blocks, it is perfectly fine. If you want to come up with Maiwan technology for one specific block, that is also fine by us. We leave it up to you as a design flexibility.
All right, so
But
thank
at least one block should be Maiwan.
Sure.
And because that will give you a comparative of how various technologies work, and how do they impact on the carbon numbers, and how do they work and account for the energy consumption.
Yes, right.
Yeah, we can
Okay,
take the
I
next.
think your doubt is clear, Tisha.
Yes, yes.
Okay, next Purvi, we can take your doubt.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's done. I asked my question.
Okay, then Muhammad Ishaq.
Yeah, I just asked my daughter. Yeah.
Okay, then Siddhi Baheti.
Hello. So basically, my doubt was on site there are some awkward points that form void spaces in the site. What are those, and do we have to consider those spaces?
Sorry, I missed you on your question. Can you please repeat your question again?
So on site there are some awkward points, awkward rectangles forming that form void spaces in the site. What are those spaces, and do we have to consider those?
No, so the site is a little tackered in the form, and you need to design in that tackered form only. Now, how you come up with your design is going to be totally your call.
Okay, sir. And sir, can we use less FAR considering the distance between
Yes,
buildings for
yes,
one
you
space?
can. You can come up with less FAR, but you need to meet the requirements, the flat requirements,
Okay, sir.
the
Thank you.
number of dwelling units. Yeah.
Okay, next we'll take the doubt from Suraj Hurdakali.
Yes, sir. So my doubt was in the side we have HT line. So can we divert or change the location?
Yes, you can. You can divert the HT line, because on request, the electricity department, they change the what do they call it? Registry road, or there is some term in Haryana, coined for this specific thing. So that road is something that you need to leave. That is ownership is of the client, but the usage is of the municipality, that he needs to deliver it back to uh, the municipality for the road purpose.
Okay, sir. And also one more thing, they have said the concept should be based on my one. What do you exactly mean by that term?
Have you done a research on my one technology?
Yes, sir, we have done,
Okay,
but
so
we are
what,
not
what
sure.
have you understood, and what is your specific doubt to it?
So my doubt is they have asked us to develop a concept based on my one construction. That is what
So
we
that
have.
certainly means that you have to come up with a building, at least one building, which should incorporate my one technology for the construction.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, next Firdos. I'm not able to pronounce the name. Yeah.
So, there is an existing park which actually extends above the boundary line. So, should we consider for it, or like should we ignore the park and the office?
No, you need to ignore. You need to just concentrate on the side boundary which is given to you, and that is coming in your scope. That's it. Anything out of that should not be considered.
And also by Haryana regulations, we need to provide OSR. Should we like also include in our design?
Yes, of course, you need to. Sorry, I missed you on that.
No, as per Haryana regulations, we need to provide a OSR. So
Yeah.
should we like consider that?
Yes, you have to consider that.
Okay, and another smaller, the 2K revenue road can be like built above anything or else, or we need to provide a setback around it.
No, you need to provide a setback.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Nelson.
Yeah. So my question is whether we'll get a recording of this meeting.
I think this is for you, Yukti.
Can you come again?
He's asking about the recording.
Yeah, the recording shall be available on the YouTube. It is currently being live streamed there, and you'll be able to access it afterwards also.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Tisha.
So I had a doubt that, as mentioned in the query set, a scaled model isn't necessary for the first stage. So, like, what all design requirements are there needed? Like, how are we supposed to compose 12 sheets then?
Okay, so sheets are something which you need to compose all by your own. So I would not comment more on that because that is your uptake. That how do you want to express your design. On the model part, I'd like to give you a clarity that a physical model is not required on the initial stage. The shortlisted entries, will be informed about more details after the shortlisting is done from the first set of submission. So in the first set of submission, there is no need to submit any physical model.
Okay, sir. And also, could you give me a brief idea about what percentage of site area needs to be commercial?
There is no, I'll not comment on it. I will, as you know, as I've already said, that it will totally be dependent on you. You need to check the regulations, how much limit does the regulation gives you for a residential for a residential development, and how much do you want to accommodate. So that is something what you need to do as a backend research at your end.
All right, sir. And we can like provide with a Rhino or a software model, right, for the first.
You can.
Okay.
You are free to use any software purchased or available freely or on trial version for the purpose of for the submissions.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I think we have one last doubt from Sukhmanjot.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Sir, the site given in the CAD file is extending up to the highway, crossing the service lanes. So how we have to incorporate the entry of the site there?
Sukhmanjot, I believe I have already given an explanation for this. So that particular area is in the ownership of the client, but he does not have access. He has to develop that road and give it back to the municipality for for access for the public. So that particular area somehow will be considered for the FAR calculations, that the plus USP of that particular land, but you cannot build anything on it. That is something which you need to give back to the community as as part of your incentives or regulations, land acquisition acts regulations that are imposed on you. So
Sure.
please do not consider it for construction. That is to be only used for road purpose, for to be maintained by the municipality but developed by the developer.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir, we've received 2 questions in the chat box as well, so I'll read them out for you.
Yeah.
The brief mentions advanced systems like earth air tunnels and radiant cooling. Are we expected to provide detailed schematic drawings or sections for these, or just a conceptual integration in the design proposal?
No, we are expecting the details in coming up in your sections, in your illustrations. So just giving a brief about a scheme that we will be coming up with the earth air tunnel, and without proposing it with a design intent is something which is not going to be considered this year. So there are certain well, Yukti, I think this question is very well raised because I just wanted to highlight certain points after we were done with these questions. That that what is the expectation from this trophy by Griha Council and by M3M Group this year. So this year, we are not expecting, to come up with just conceptual, schemes. We want you to, integrate those concepts in your design that should, specifically speak out in your design in terms of, sections, in terms of your plans, in terms of, any cross-sectional detail that you come up with. So we would be, expecting, if you are giving an earth air tunnel, we need to understand that where is going to be the inlet, how deep is going to be the earth air tunnel, from where it is going to, exhaust, to what all areas is it going to, provide the circulated air, what is going to be the capacity of the fan motor that you're going to install in an earth air tunnel, is there going to be a dehumidifier that you're going to install. So we are looking at those details this year. So please be mindful that you might lose points, and this year the marking is also going to be very strict, depending upon the design and freedom that we have given you this year. So the marking is also going to be very stringent. So please be mindful that don't come up with just random designs, but think logically and apply that aptitude in your design interventions. Please do not try to copy paste any design ideas that have been been forecasted in the previous Griha trophies. Just giving random uptakes from chat gpt is something which is not expected from this trophy. We want you guys to to use your aptitude, to use your brain, and to more work in group as a collaborative effort. And please consult your seniors, please consult your professors, your mentors this year, because it is very much important as part of your learning and as part of your academic development. So this year, please make sure that you come up with original design concepts which are logical and which could be applied in the designs, because these design interventions that you're going to be coming up is going to be uptaken up in the future by the developer, and you will be well recognized also for that. Yeah, Yukti.
Yes, sir. So we have a question from Arnavi that there's a narrow 2K revenue rasta placed awkwardly between two large blocks in the center of the site, which causes the setbacks to be taken on both sides. Are we allowed to modify that?
No,
So
I
I
don't
think
think
you
that
have
was very
answered
answered.
that.
Yes.
Yes. So we're not allowed to modify that.
Revenue road is the technical word. Yeah, what I was skipping. It's a term which is used very commonly in the Haryana developmental codes, and it's a specific requirement in Haryana where a revenue road is something which is to be provided, and we see this in almost all projects in Gurugram which are above 10 acres of land.
Okay, sir. And we have a last question from Atharva. Do we have to make consideration in housing as well for EWS?
Well, we would love that if you come up with EWS designs in your project, and we are talking about social upliftment, we're talking about catering to the economically weaker section. Although it is not a mandatory requirement, but if you come up with those requirements in a very specific, systematic way, of course, it is going to fetch you more points, and at the same time, it is also going to cater to the society.
Yes, sir. That is all the questions that we had, and we can have some closing remarks now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Yukti. Thank you so much. Thank you all the students, for joining us on this short notice. I would like to really thank you all for sparing up your time. And we, on behalf of Griha Council, I would like to wish each and every one of you all the best of luck for this year's design competition. We intend to come up with live design problems for you people, so that you get a heck of that how the industry works. What are the expectations of a builder, what are the expectations of the market, so that you are well ready once you are graduate to practice in the market. And hope to see you guys at the NASA convention, and all the best.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you, Ponchi ma'am, also for taking the time to join us and to connect with the students and to take up all the doubts that they have in person. And all of this recording will be available on YouTube for anyone who wants to access it afterwards also. So all the best for the trophy, and I hope we have a great many number of good submissions this year.
Thank you so much, Yukti. Thank you for your effort. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I think we can conclude the meeting now. Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye.